So as you guys remember, last week on September 7th, I made a Saturday Stories explaining to you guys every single New York trip that has happened ever since July 2007. The video was very successful, even though the video came out a day late. But that didn't stop me. However, in that video, there were 4 very interesting / epic things I forgot to mention about one of the New York trips that I mentioned in the video. The New York trip 2019. Even though I made an entire Saturday Stories of 8 things you did not know about the New York trip 2019. Well, guess I still got 4 more things to mention about it. But mainly these are still 4 things that I forgot to mention in the all New York trip story. So, without further ado, guys, let's begin. Oh, by the way, one more thing before we actually get started. In the background, I'll be playing on CVPS's and on Minecraft in Legos Island. Only as a background. Alright, now let's get started. Alright, guys, so for number 1, we are going to go back pretty far. Now, this first one is actually really cool and is something I really should have mentioned in the video, because all 4 of these things should have been mentioned in the video. But this first one, honestly, guys, I cannot tell you guys how freaking awesome this first fun fact is, and that is this. So Rowan left the ranch on August 7th, and yeah, it was kind of sad. But, a little known fact, 3 hours after she left the ranch, though, we did this.
Alright, here we go. Into the wilderness.
Yes, as you can obviously have told, of course I had to bring up this because obviously the 4-wheeler came back for the second time. Instead of it being July, it was actually on August 7th. Although the video was published on August 10th. So, in this, I forgot to mention these 4 things for the New York trip 2019 when I was mentioning it here. But yep, fact number 1 is the 4-wheeler came back for the second time. The only difference was that it was in August instead of July. And secondly, the video was 11 minutes longer. Yep, 11 minutes longer than the 2018 one. To be honest, if I had to say, this year's 4-wheeler video was so much better than the previous. 1, because it was in a different month, and 2, it was even longer. Just look at it. It's that long. How could it not be that fun? But aside from that...
And finally, here is the other pond. Found out again after a while. Yep, there it is. There's the other pond right there. Hold on, let me take a picture of that. There we go. Let's get going. My second pond.
But yeah, this was all done only 3 hours after Rowan left the ranch for the entire year. And to be honest, it was actually super fun. I hope we can do this again for next year's New York trip. And yeah, it was way too much fun this time. Alright guys, moving on to fact number 2 for the 4 things I forgot to mention in the New York trip video. Did you know that this year's New York trip, and hold on, let me mute that, because we don't need the game sound in. This year's New York trip marked the second time that a New York trip came to an end on August 8th. And this ain't no joke. This year marked the second time that a New York trip ended on August 8th. The first one to officially ever end on August 8th before this one was the New York trip 2007, which was the first ever New York trip ever. That one ended on August 8th, and just because we wanted to recreate something from at least 12 years earlier, we decided to bring back the original end date for a New York trip, aka August 8th. However, there was only one difference. Instead of it being my grandma's house that we left, that was in 2007, instead it was the ranch. So, that's one difference. And also, I think we left earlier. Yeah, we left earlier than we did back in 2007 on that day. So, that's fun fact number 2. This was the second time that a New York trip ended on August 8th, and this will probably be the last time that a New York trip ever ends on that day. As I don't think we're ever doing the August tradition again for probably a long time. Yeah. Definitely a long time. But aside from that, let's move on to fact number 3. Now, this next one is actually quite sad. And why is it so sad, you may ask? Because what I'm about to tell you is actually very sad. The New York trip 2019 was the last New York trip to occur before I become an adult. That's right. This was the last New York trip before becoming an adult, because if you don't know, I become an adult next year in 2020. As currently right now, I am 17. And speaking of which, that is the 4th fact, but we'll get to that in just a second. Because I'm 17 right now, and we only do these New York trips only once a year, except for 2017, they normally only occur in July, and if you guys don't remember, my birthday is in June, and we do the New York trips in July. That means that this was the last official New York trip to ever occur before I become an adult next year in June 2020. So, yeah. By the next New York trip, guys, next year, I will officially be an adult as, yeah, I think we'll do it in July next year, so, yep. By then, I will be an adult by then. So this year's New York trip was the last New York trip to occur before I become an adult next year. I know. That's sad. Really sad. Alright guys, on to fact number 4, which is the last fact you guys need to know about this. So guys, fact number 4 is, like I just mentioned, since I am 17 right now, and fun fact, that was the age I was when doing this New York trip. So yep, during the New York trip 2019, I was 17, and I still currently am right now until June 2020. So because of this, obviously by the next time we do a New York trip, I will be 18, so that obviously will explain it a lot. But yep. And it looks like I can't get into Minecraft, but other than that, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Because I'm 17 now, by the next time we do a New York trip, I will be 18 and an adult. So, yeah, those are 2 fun facts you guys should know. Oh, great. Now I have to restart the laptop. Who cares anyway? I'm about to end the video anyway. But yes, guys, that was crazy, and I cannot believe that all that's true. So once again, the 4 fun facts were about this. The 4 things I forgot to mention were the 4-wheeler came back for the second time. This was the second New York trip to end on August 8th. This was the last New York trip before becoming an adult, and I was 17 during this trip. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed and you want to see another Saturday story, tune into next week's story on Saturday, September 21st. And yeah, guys, it'll be an awesome topic. I cannot wait. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about next week, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be epic. I'll see all of you tomorrow for Sunday vlog, backyard videos, and Legos Island for the theme park anniversary /fair 2019. See you later!